Watch a professional weightlifter and a warehouse employee side by side. They are both executing complex kinetic movements under heavy load, relying on the exact same biomechanical systems to get the job done. But while the athlete gets ice baths, physical therapy, and strict recovery protocols, the worker gets a short break and a standard expectation that aching joints are simply the cost of earning a paycheck. This chart tracks work-related musculoskeletal disorders across the UK economy. The national average sits at over 1,100 cases per 100,000 workers, but in sectors like construction and transportation, those rates nearly double. Waiting for a worker to break down before providing care destroys individual livelihoods and creates a permanent drag on corporate efficiency. Even jobs that look safe carry hidden physical costs. Staying in a single, rigid position for hours creates a static load that starves muscles of blood flow, leading to metabolic fatigue. Look at this diagram of the human spine during a standard 90-degree sitting posture. Over time, holding this fixed angle increases pressure on the spinal discs and pinches off the flow of red blood cells needed to keep the surrounding tissue healthy. On the other end of the spectrum, active hazards accelerate this damage. Prolonged exposure to vibrations from heavy power tools actively degrades peripheral nerves and vascular tissue in the hands and arms. Because the daily routine creates microscopic tears and tissue damage faster than the body can heal, a couple of days off on the weekend is rarely enough to stop the long-term deterioration. This is where the Karlos sports science approach steps in. By applying elite sports science, physiotherapy, and biomechanics to the factory floor, we treat the everyday worker like an industrial athlete. The strategy targets 4 main occupational stressors: manual handling, static posture, repetitive motion, and vibration exposure. In dense, heavy environments like automotive assembly lines, workers are often forced into awkward reaches and repetitive lifts, compounding several of these stressors at once. To solve this, the Karlos assessment engine provides a structured diagnostic framework to pinpoint exact physical risks before they cause harm. By auditing a workspace and updating job demands, the system maps out the physical requirements of a role. This opens the door for interventions like wellness coaching and on-the-job exercise routines, providing critical monitoring to keep older workers safe as they age. True workplace safety means engineering the daily task to fit the mechanics of the human body, rather than forcing the body to contort to the task. Once the assessment is complete, the focus shifts to functional task testing. Here, employees learn to identify and correct poor movement patterns before they lead to strains. For office professionals, this involves dynamic sitting. Incorporating continuous micro-movements throughout the day acts as a biological reset, pumping fresh blood through the circulatory and skeletal systems. And when specific conditioning is needed, on-site physiotherapy and job-specific rehabilitation build up musculoskeletal strength, effectively hardening the worker against the demands of their specific role. These precise interventions intercept the physical damage at its source. They correct the root cause of the wear and tear, instead of just treating the pain at the end of the shift. Zooming out, unmanaged musculoskeletal stress represents a multi-billion-dollar silent drain on global industries. This chart illustrates the hidden cost of the traditional, reactive model. Notice how climbing medical costs and workers' compensation claims directly mirror the steady loss of daily productivity. But after implementing these active ergonomic programs, the trend lines reverse. Companies see up to a 60% reduction in sick leave, and intervention models consistently demonstrate a 5-to-1 return on investment. Protecting human biomechanical health has moved past being an HR checklist item. It is a critical operational efficiency upgrade. Effective occupational health reaches far beyond basic harm reduction. It focuses on sustaining peak physical performance throughout a career. The result is a confident, capable workforce that goes home without pain, ready to sustain their excellence year after year. By treating every worker like an industrial athlete, Karlos Sports Science delivers exactly what modern industry needs: prevention, performance,